Most people think a woman's sex life fades after 60, but what if I told you that the opposite is true? And that millions of American women over 60 are quietly living a new, deeper, more passionate chapter one nobody talks about. Today, we're finally talking about it. Sex after 60. It's a topic wrapped in silence, stereotypes, and a whole lot of misunderstanding, especially in America. For decades, women have been told that aging means losing desire, losing confidence, or losing their ability to feel deeply connected. But the real story, the one most people never hear, is far more powerful, far more hopeful, and far more human. Because for many women, turning 60 isn't the end of intimacy, it's the beginning of a new kind. A kind built on freedom, on self-knowledge, on emotional maturity and deep trust, on confidence that younger versions of themselves never had. And today, we're uncovering the secret truth, the truth women whisper to friends, doctors, and therapists, but almost never say out loud. Let's start with the misconception that desire disappears with age. It doesn't. What does happen is something more interesting. Desire becomes less driven by pressure and more driven by connection, comfort, and emotional closeness. Many women describe it as a shift from performance to presence. They say things like, "I feel more in my body now. I'm not trying to impress anyone anymore, and I finally know what I like. And I'm not shy about saying it." It's not about youth, it's about freedom, and freedom changes everything. In their 20s, many women worry, do I look good enough? Am I doing this right? What will he think? But after 60, those voices get quieter, much quieter. Women say, I live too much life to be insecure now. If someone's with me, it's because they choose me, and I'm finally comfortable in my skin. This emotional confidence built from decades of lived experience makes intimacy richer, calmer, and often better than it ever was when they were younger. Because sex isn't only physical, it's deeply emotional, deeply psychological, deeply connected to identity and belonging. And women over 60 understand themselves better than ever before. While hormone levels naturally change with age, that doesn't mean desire disappears. In fact, studies in the U.S. show women over 60 continue to have intimate relationships at high rates. Emotionally satisfying relationships increase sexual satisfaction more than hormones alone, and women in stable, trusted partnerships often report the highest satisfaction of their lives. And medically, more support exists today than ever. Pelvic floor therapy, hormone therapy when safe, vaginal moisturizers, and lubricants, open conversations with doctors, mental health support, and relationship counseling. The body may change, yes, but it doesn't stop working. It adapts, and with the right support, intimacy remains meaningful and fulfilling. Something else happens after 60 that society rarely acknowledges: the emotional rebirth. Many women say intimacy becomes more patient, more tender, more intentional, more emotionally open, and less stressful. They stop chasing perfection. They stop comparing themselves to younger versions of who they were. They stop caring about unrealistic expectations. Instead, they focus on connection, real connection. One woman in her late 60s described it perfectly. It's not about performing anymore. It's about being seen. And being seen, truly seen, is one of the most intimate experiences a human can have. For many American women, life after 60 includes divorce after decades, losing a spouse, becoming single again, starting fresh, meeting someone new. And with these changes often comes a surprising emotional shift, a sense of second adolescence, but wiser, calmer, and far more confident. Some women explore dating for the first time in years. Others find a new partner who values emotional intimacy more deeply than anything physical. Some rediscover passion in a long marriage once the kids are grown and the pressure of life has eased. And many say, this is the first time I'm focusing on my happiness. When a woman feels free, intimacy transforms. Now, it's talk about the silence. Why don't women over 60 talk openly about their intimate lives? Because American culture is deeply ageist. It praises youth. It worships forever young. it often views older women as invisible. So when a woman over 60 says she's still experiencing desire, passion, joy, many people don't know how to react. Society treats older men differently, celebrated for still having it. But older women, they're expected to quietly disappear from conversations about sexuality. And yet, they haven't disappeared. They're living, loving, connecting, exploring, just quietly, privately, and often secretly. This silence is exactly why this conversation matters. Here is another secret truth. For many women, sex after 60 becomes more meaningful not because the physical side is better, but because the emotional side deepens. Women describe it as soft intimacy, slow intimacy, intentional touch, shared comfort, emotional vulnerability, companionship woven with desire. It becomes about trust, not performance, about closeness, not appearance, about emotional warmth, not pressure. This is where intimacy becomes truly powerful. Of course, there are real challenges: dryness, discomfort, reduced libido, lack of confidence, partner mismatch, emotional fear after trauma or widowhood. But no woman has to face these alone. Doctors today talk openly about sexual wellness. Therapists specialize in intimacy after menopause. Couples counseling helps rebuild connection. Pelvic floor specialists transform comfort and confidence. The real secret is this: there is support, professional, emotional, and medical, available for every woman who wants it. And there is absolutely nothing shameful about seeking the intimacy she deserves. For many women, the greatest discovery after 60 is this: sex is no longer about approval or expectation or what life should look like. It becomes about freedom. Freedom to express, freedom to explore, freedom to enjoy life fully without guilt, without shame, without rushing. Some women rediscover pleasure. Some rediscover emotional closeness. Some rediscover themselves. But all of them rediscover that intimacy isn't about age. It's about connection, honesty, vulnerability, and the courage to remain open. So here is the secret truth about sex for women over 60 in America. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't fade into the background. It doesn't become irrelevant. Instead, it evolves. It softens. It deepens. It transforms into something wiser, calmer, more meaningful, something built on decades of life, love, loss, growth, and rediscovery. And for many women, it becomes the most beautiful chapter of intimacy they've ever experienced. Because intimacy is not reserved for the young. It's reserved for the human heart at every age.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and share it. Your support means a lot. Thank you for being here.